Apples are the third most popular fruit in the world, after mangoes and bananas, and are somewhat of a cultural icon in the Western world, despite originating in Asia. We think. No one's really sure. We eat applesauce when we're sick and apple pie on holidays, but what do we really know about the history and production of this common little fruit? I'm Mike with List 25, and to help us appreciate nature's perfect snack, here are 25 fun facts about apple, the fruit.
25.
Apples are actually part of the rose family of plant. This includes many fruit plants such as pears, almonds, apricots, cherries, plums, raspberries, peaches, and more.
What you got there?
Apples.
Those are not apples.
Yeah, they are.
They're apple chips.
Close enough.
It is not.
They're apples.
24.
Despite the fact that only the crab apple is native to North America,
Ha!
there are over 2,500 different types of apples grown in North America today.
23.
Johnny Appleseed, real name John Chapman, was, yes, a real person, and yes, he planted trees all over parts of the US. But he wasn't poor, and he wasn't being nice. Back then, land could be claimed if you created a permanent homestead, and one of the ways to do that was to plant 50 trees to start an orchard. Chapman planted trees, and then later would sell his land to people.
22.
Apples were brought over to the US from Europe by colonists, but apples, again, aside from the inedible crab apple, aren't native to Europe either. Best guess is that they're native to Asia and were introduced to Europe by the Romans, though no one is truly sure.
21.
Half the deciduous fruit tree production in the world is apples, and they're mostly produced in 5 countries: the US, China, Turkey, Italy, and Poland.
20.
Though apples are naturally high in fruit sugar, like really high, they also contain so much fiber that it doesn't really cause a blood sugar spike, and they actually have a very low glycemic index. This is why applesauce is softened and used as an alternative to refined sugar in some sugar-free recipes. Apples are actually considerably better for you blood sugar-wise than many other fruits, such as bananas.
19.
By the way, those apples that Johnny Appleseed planted, they weren't for eating. They were small, hard, and gross. But they were great for cider and applejack, which until Prohibition was the alcoholic drink of choice for much of the states, particularly the rural parts. Sadly, Prohibition meant that the government chopped down most of Chapman's apple trees, because the government knows best. Applejack is a pretty great pony. She might be my second favorite, actually. Done by the same voice actress as Rainbow Dash.
18.
Apples, apple flesh, apple juice, and apple cider vinegar contain malic acid, which can actually assist in helping your body break up and dissolve gallstones. However, if you think you have gallstones, you should still 1000% go to, a doctor for that.
17.
As American as apple pie is kind of a dumb saying, because apple pie isn't American, it's European. The first recipe for apple pie dates back to the 1300s from England. Apples, at least the kind fit for eating, aren't even native to North America, like I've said before. So how could the pie be? Also, you weren't supposed to eat the crust. Lacking a decent tin or Pyrex in the 1300s, a container, or coffin, made of flour, lard, and water was merely a cooking vessel for the delicious baked apples inside.
16.
If you were to eat 1 apple a day, it would take you over 20 years to try the over 7,000 varieties grown worldwide. That's a lot of doctors kept away.
15.
An average-sized apple has nearly twice the fiber of a single serving of Metamucil, 4.5 grams. Also, it tastes better, and you should never have to think, oh, I should take my Metamucil.
14.
Apples have a large place in mythology. Not only do people think that Eve ate an apple in the Garden of Eden, despite no holy text mentioning an apple, I'll get to that later. In Norse mythology, apples gave eternal youth. In Greek mythology, the goddess Eris used a golden apple to start a ball rolling on the Trojan War. Celtic symbolism considers the apple blossom a symbol of fertility, and in Disney lore, the poison apple is what the Wicked Queen gives Snow White to put her to sleep.
13.
One average-sized apple pie, about 9 inches, takes around 2 pounds of apples, which is around 4 apples if they're very large, or up to 6 if they're on the medium to small side. It's always better to buy 1 more apple than you need for a pie. Better to have a snack the next day than be an apple short.
12.
What's in a bushel? A bushel of apples weighs approximately 42 pounds and will make 3 to 3.5 gallons of cider, 21 apple pies, or around 20 quarts of applesauce. And now you know.
11.
25% of an apple's volume is air, which is why they float when you drop them in water. This is why we go bobbing for apples instead of drowning for apples.
10.
Apple used to be a generic term for any fruit that wasn't a berry, at least through the 1600s, which is when the earliest English translations of the Bible were made, which may be why people think Eve ate an apple.
9.
Some studies have linked apple consumption to a reduced risk of cancer. Quercetin, procyanidins, pectin, and vitamin C can all help keep you healthy and prevent cancer from developing.
8.
Apples can help give you a lovely and glowing complexion. Apple cider vinegar makes an amazing toner, not only because it breaks up the oil and grossness that causes acne and breakouts, but it also balances skin's pH levels, which in turn will keep your skin from overproducing oil in the first place.
7.
A man named Robert Prince opened the first nursery in the United States in Flushing, New York in 1730. He sold apple trees and was even visited by General George Washington.
6.
Speaking of George Washington, one of his favorite hobbies was pruning his apple trees. It's said that this helped him with stress management.
5.
Yes, apple seeds do contain cyanide, which is in fact a deadly poison. However, you'd really need to chew up and ingest about 200 seeds or 10 apple cores in order to die from it. So don't do that.
4.
The first apples planted on what is now US soil were planted in the Massachusetts Bay Colony by Pilgrims.
3.
It takes forever for apple trees to start producing fruit. A full-sized apple tree can take as many as 10 years from seed to fruit. If you're a dog, that's nearly your entire life.
2.
Apples have 0 fat, 0 sodium, 0 cholesterol, and about 80 calories. And if you're doing a low sugar diet, can really help curb cravings for sweets.
1.
The fear of apples in any form, or of eating apples, is called Malus domesticophobia. Malus domestica being the scientific name for the orchard apple tree.
Eating one on camera makes you look like a jerk, according to CinemaSins. Ding!
I didn't get any.
Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the bottom right so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 3 videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.